Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? This is Tony Vinchelle with the Stronger You Fitness, ASU Fit, and the Becoming a Stronger You movement, sitting here tonight underneath my orange light. Yeah, totally nothing that I can do about this right now. It's just what my light looks like. But hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. I'm going to give a couple of seconds. I know that I logged in about 10 seconds or so early, so I'm going to give a few seconds for everybody else to log in. That's going to log in while I go ahead and put together my notes on tonight's webinar. A few seconds for everybody else to log in. It's going to log in while I go ahead and put together my notes on tonight's webinar. All right. Okay. So it is 10 p.m. and I am going to go ahead and get started. So again, welcome. This is Tony Vinchelle with the Stronger You Fitness, ASU Fit, and the Becoming a Stronger You movement. And this is video number 2 of 67. If you've been following my Facebook page or my Twitter, I am going to be providing 67 days of free content, 67 days of fitness, health, and wellness education based on what it is that you want to learn, based on the questions that I have received in my inbox and on some of my posts and things of that nature, and just some questions that I've seen in some of the fitness groups that I am in. And so here we are on this webinar. I just joined a gym. What do I do now, right? So you make this decision that you are going to start becoming serious about your fitness, health, and wellness. And a lot of times the first thing that we do is we go out and get a gym membership. So you show up, you go through the orientation, they give you a tour of the gym, you get to see all of their cool equipment, you get to see all of this really cool stuff. And then you sign up for the gym membership. And then after you sign up for the gym membership, it's almost kind of like, okay, so what do I do now? And it can be a little bit confusing and it can be overwhelming, especially when you're not used to being in the gym. You're not used to seeing all of that equipment. You're not used to being around that many people. And so what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to give you a few things that you can do to make your experience a lot less hectic and a lot less overwhelming. And it'll give you some control over your experience. And then that way you can walk into the gym and you have a plan and you feel like you know exactly what it is that you are doing. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right. So when you get your gym membership, there's a couple of things that you need to do. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you orient yourself with all of the equipment in the gym. You need to understand what machines are for which muscle groups. You need to understand how to use the machines. You need to have a basic understanding of roughly about how many times or how many sets or how many reps that you may want to use the machine, and just kind of get a feel for how it is that you want to work your body. Now, there's several different ways. There's actually a couple of ways that you can do this. The first thing that you can do is when you show up to the gym the first time, most of the equipment that you're going to see in the gym has those little pictures on the side. And it's going to tell you exactly what muscle groups are being worked. And there are also some basic instructions on how to actually use the equipment. So if you are a really good visual person and you're pretty good with, just looking at pictures and looking at small sets of instructions, and understanding what they are saying, then that might be the route that you might want to take. Now, the challenge with that is, depending on the time that you go into the gym, there may be lots of people in the gym, lots of people using the equipment. And so you may not necessarily get to educate yourself the way that you want to educate yourself. Also, if you've never used that equipment, it's pretty important that you make sure that you keep yourself safe from injury. And so if you're looking at a piece of equipment and you're trying to try it out and you've never used it before, then you could potentially injure yourself. So that's one thing that you want to keep in mind. Now, the second way that you can get an orientation with all of the equipment in the gym is if you schedule a personal training consultation. So what happens at most gyms is that most gyms will give you some sort of consultation as a part of your new membership, right? They'll say like one free personal training session or one free consultation with the personal trainer. And I have worked in large gyms before. And so I want to go ahead and tell you that regardless of what is said to you about the consultation or about the session, you actually do have a right to dictate how you want that session to go. Now, I'm going to say, in the same breath that I will say that, I will also say, understand that these are personal trainers. Understand that this is how they make their money. This is how they're basically sort of running a business within a business, but they're being paid an hourly wage. And then some of them are not even being paid hourly wage. Some of them are only being paid commissions. So it's extremely important that you go into the session with the right mindset and not with a sense of entitlement. So although you do have the right to sort of guide the personal trainer or to kind of let them know what it is that you want in that session, please don't go in with a sense of entitlement and expect them to give you $125 worth of service for free. That's not fair. It's not fair to the personal trainer. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a bad experience because the trainer will pick up on that. And then what they're going to do is they're going to give you the minimum amount that they can give you. Right. So when you show up for this consultation, you want to make sure that you're very friendly. You want to make sure that you're building a relationship and all of those kinds of things. And then what you want to do is there's two different ways that you could organize your session. And it depends on how well you can memorize things, how well you learn, how well you can remember things. The first thing you can do is you can ask the personal trainer to take you through a full body workout. And then what's going to happen is they're going to take you to some machines, depending on how the trainers train, because each trainer is different and each of us have, we all have different philosophies. And so some of them may take you to the machines and you might do some body weight work. But the bottom line is you'll have an entire workout if you can remember it or at least understand the concepts that you will be able to use, and you'll be able to work yourself out literally from top to bottom. And so what you can do is if you can remember that workout, you can just continue to do that same workout over and over and over again while you were still learning to use the other equipment, while you were still learning about your other muscle groups, while you were still gathering other information. Because going to the gym and doing something is better than doing nothing. And what happens a lot of times is we sign up for these gym memberships and then it becomes overwhelming because we go in there and we don't know what it is that we're doing. And then you stop going and now you're in a position where you've got this gym membership and you're paying month after month after month after month, but you're never utilizing it, right? All right, so that's the first way that you can organize your session. You can ask the trainer to give you a full body workout or put you through a full body circuit. And that's going to be good for people who have a really good memory. You're able to pick up on concepts quickly and things of that nature. Do not take a video camera or try to tape the session or anything like that. It is a bit disrespectful. Again, understand that this personal trainer is giving their service for free. And so basically, if they're putting you through a full body workout, they're putting you through a full body workout that they have written. And that is the intellectual property of that personal trainer. So you don't want to be disrespectful and pull out a camera. Most trainers won't even allow you to do that. I know when I was working in some of the larger gyms, some of the franchise gyms, I would not allow people to videotape or take pictures of my sessions because that's my intellectual property. And so if you're getting that for free, then you might want to just make sure that you're memorizing that kind of stuff. Now, if you're not good with memorizing the concepts or memorizing activities, things of that nature, then the second approach that you can take is you can ask the personal trainer to put you through an equipment orientation. And basically what that means is that the personal trainer will walk you through the gym and walk you through some of the most important equipment for all of your muscle groups. And so now you're getting this additional education. And now that you know how to use the equipment, you can either write a program yourself if you don't want to hire the personal trainer, or you can, look up some of those programs that are available online. They're online everywhere now. All you have to do is just type in free workout program, free weight loss, weightlifting program, or whatever. And there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon those that are going to be available for you to be able to download. And you can print those and take your piece of paper into the gym and then just follow that circuit while you are learning how to utilize everything that's there in the gym, right? All right. So Here's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you are working with personal trainers during the orientation. Understand, again, that in most of these big gyms, there's this idea that personal trainers make a lot of money. And what people don't realize is most of those personal trainers are on commission only. And if they are getting an hourly wage, it's something like minimum wage or something like that. It's not a whole lot of money. So understand that the personal trainer's job is to sell personal training, and it's also to sell supplements, because when you work in those gyms, you have quotas, you have numbers that you have to meet, you have so many training sessions that you have to hit, and you have so much money in supplements that you have to be able to sell in order to keep your job or in order to be promoted. So keep that in the back of your mind so that you're not irritated when they start to bring that up as part of the conversation. Understand that they are really just doing their job. They're really just doing what it is that they have to do in order to keep their position or in order to keep promoted. Now, in that same breath, I will also tell you to be very wise about the suggestions that you do take from the personal trainers. The unfortunate thing about working in a commission-based business is that sometimes it turns people into something that they otherwise would not be. And because there is so much pressure on the trainers to sell this and sell that and train this one and train that one, what happens is they will try to push supplements on you that you don't need. So you have to be very wise about the information that you're taking in. And if you are going to take some of those supplement suggestions, be very wise about the suggestions that you do take, because most of the stacks, as they call them, in a stack is basically just an entire group of supplements that you choose to take, whatever your group of supplements are. Most of those stacks are designed for sports performance. And so if you are not an athlete and you're just in there to lose weight, or you're just in there to build a little bit of muscle so that you can sculpt your body, you may not necessarily need everything it is that they're trying to sell you. So keep that in mind as well. Right. So on one hand, understand that they are doing their job, and they're, it is what it is. They're in a sales business, right? And that you are getting the service for free. And as part of getting that service for free, you're going to hear some sales pitches. That's just a part of it. And then on the other hand, if you do choose to take some of those suggestions, make sure that you are very wise in the suggestions that you take. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later here in the webinar to talk to you about, some of the things that you may want to invest in if you choose to use supplements. They're not 100% necessary, but there are some supplements that do help with the speed of the process. All right. Now, here's two other things. Be upfront at the end of your session if you really and truly have no intention of hiring that trainer. Sometimes people will go in for these free sessions and you feel as though you feel guilty. And so you want to say, oh, well, I may be interested in a trainer, in 2 weeks, just give me a little bit of time. And then what happens is when they put you on their lead list and they start calling you in 2 weeks, then you turn around and get irritated and you say, oh my God, they're calling me. They won't stop calling me. And, I don't want training and blah, 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 blah. Well, the fact of the matter is, if you would have just been upfront at the end of the session and said, look, you know what, I truly appreciate your time. I really just needed the session so that I could orient myself with the gym, so I could orient myself with this, with the equipment, but I'm really not in a position right now to be able to hire a personal trainer. And I don't really know when I will be able to do so. If you would have said that in the beginning, then you could have saved yourself some frustration. Again, remember that these personal trainers are in a sales business. It is their job to sell stuff, right? It's their job to sell training. It's their job to sell supplements. And so when you go in for these consultations and for these free sessions, you have to make sure that you keep that in mind and make sure that you're being fair to yourself and being fair to that trainer as well. Now, if you cannot afford personal training, or if you don't see the value in personal training. And I say that because some people can't afford it. They just don't see the value in it. Right? And that's totally fine. So if you're in one of those two positions, but you still would like some direction as to how you need to work out, ask the personal trainer how much they would charge you to write a program for you. Okay. Depending, sit down and say, hey, you know what, if I tell you my goals, if I give you an idea of what it is that I want to do, then how much would it be for you just to write a plan out for me? Okay. And depending on the level of expertise, that might be $50. It might be $125, right? Because if a personal trainer, I know at some of the larger gyms, some of the more experienced personal trainers will charge up to $125 for an hour of personal training. Now, if they're going to write you a program, they may charge you for that hour because ultimately it's an hour of their time and their expertise that they're using. So it could be anywhere from $50 to $125. Just don't expect somebody to write you a program for free. It's not fair. And so if you want a free program, then you can go online and you can find thousands of free programs. There's all kinds of websites. There's all kinds of information available. So if you want a free program that's not customized for you, but it's something that'll get you active in the gym and get you active in using the equipment, then go ahead and look one up online. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more customized, ask the personal trainer how much they would charge you to write a program for you. Okay. And then that way, when you go into the gym, you know exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. Okay. So that takes care of the resistance training part of it, the understanding the logistics behind personal training. Now let's talk about nutrition. Okay. And again, each gym is going to be different. Some gyms will give you a free personal training session as a part of the membership. Some gyms will give you a free personal training and a nutrition session as part of the membership. It really just depends. But I would encourage you, even if the gym does not give you a free consultation on nutrition, that might be something that you actually want to go ahead and invest in, because ultimately we already know that you cannot outwork your diet. And what happens is we go out and we get these memberships. And for some of us who do go in and work, you go in and you do this work, but then you leave and you're not eating the things that you need to, right? For your metabolism, for your body, for your goals and things of that nature. And then you don't see any progress. So because you don't see any progress, you stop going to the gym. And now we're back in that position where we're paying for a monthly membership that we are not using. So, here's a way that you could potentially get a 2-for-1. If all they are willing to do is give you a free personal training session or a free personal training consultation, then ask if you can get a personal training session with a personal trainer who has been trained, not who has the knowledge, but who has been trained specifically in the type of nutrition that you are interested in. So for example, if you are interested in weight loss, you may want to ask to be connected with a personal trainer who is also certified through an outside certifying body or through the gym itself, a personal trainer who is certified as a weight loss coach. Typically, if the personal trainer is certified as a weight loss coach, they have some knowledge of weight loss nutrition. One of the things that you have to understand is that most personal trainers, without any additional education or without any additional certification, have a basic understanding of some nutrition, but typically that tends to be sports nutrition. And sports nutrition may not work for every body type, every body frame, and every metabolism. So if you're going to try to do this whole 2-for-1 thing, then what you want to do is you want to ask to see if you can sit down with a personal trainer who is certified as a weight loss coach, or see if you can sit down with a personal trainer who is certified in the type of nutrition that you are interested in, right? So if you can find a personal trainer who is also certified in precision nutrition, that's a really good one. If you can find a personal trainer who is also a certified weight loss coach, That's a really good one. So that's how you can get a 2. That's how you're able to get a 2-for-1. And then what you can do is when you go in for that consultation, you can ask the personal trainer, hey, would you mind if we made the first half of this consultation or the first half of this session about workouts, resistance training, and all of that, and the second half of this consultation about nutrition? Now, understand this, okay? If the personal trainer is certified as a weight loss coach or in nutrition, they're not obligated to give you a nutrition consultation as part of that personal training consultation. So remember that. So if you ask the question and the personal trainer says no, then just you're going to have to learn to be okay with that, because again, most of them are on commission. So they're in business, and they're in business to make money. And you have some personal trainers who charge who are able to charge more for their nutrition services than they do for their personal training services. So just kind of have an understanding of that. So you may or may not be able to get that 2-for-1. If you're unable to get that 2-for-1, don't get frustrated with the trainer. Don't give an attitude, because at the end of the day, you're going to get back what you put in. Okay. So if you cannot get the 2-for-1, then I would suggest that you schedule a consultation with whoever the nutritionist is on staff there. Here is the thing though. Here's the thing that you have to understand. That nutritionist is also in the business of sales, right? So whereas your personal trainers may not be making an hourly wage, they may be commission only. Your nutritionist, the nutritionist on staff, may be making an hourly wage, or they may be making, a salary, but it's very minimal. And so they are responsible for sales. And typically the nutritionist is going to be responsible for the sale of supplements. So here's what you do when you go to sit down in that nutrition consultation. Give the nutritionist a complete breakdown of everything it is that you want to do, all of your goals, what it is that you want to do, if you have any time frames and things of that nature. When you walk into the nutritionist to get the most out of your consultation, write down what your goals are. You don't want to walk into your nutritionist consultation at the gym and you're like, I just want to lose weight. Please tell me how. Because now what's going to happen is you're going to waste the first half of your consultation just trying to get your goals together. And you may not get as much information as you could have had you walked in there prepared. And then what happens is people walk away and they say, you know what, I went to that nutritionist, I got a consultation and it was complete bullshit. Well, no, it may have been bullshit, but it also may have been because you were not prepared. So what you want to do is the day before your consultation, you want to sit down and you want to write down what your goals are, right? This is what I want to do. I want to lose this amount of weight, hopefully in this amount of time. These are the events that I have coming up that I want to look really, really good for. This is how many times I typically eat per day. These are some of my challenges. These are some of the things that I think that I am really good at. These are the supplements that I am taking. These are the medications that I am taking. This is the number of days that I'm going to be working in the gym. This is the number of times that I eat throughout the day. These are typically the times during the day where I feel hungry. And I promise you, if you walk into your nutritionist consultation with all of that information already in hand and all you have to do is pass it across the table, then that nutritionist can give you a whole lot more information to help you move towards your goal of whatever it is that you want to do. Again, remember that they are in the business of sales. So I'm going to give you a question that you can ask. And this is a question that's going to let you know whether or not that nutritionist really cares about you and your goals, or if they care only about their sales and their goals. Don't get me wrong, they're supposed to. So don't get upset about the fact that they are goal driven, because these are the kinds of things that they have to do to keep their job. At the same time, you also have to make sure that you're listening to the client and that you're giving them what it is that they feel like, or giving them what is going to help them be successful. So here's what you do. You walk into your consultation. You've got all of your information out here in front of you. You've already outlined everything. You walk in there and you're totally prepared. You guys start having the conversation. So this is what you want to say. You say, look, I want to do X. I want to build muscle, or I want to lose weight, or I want to do whatever it is that you came into the gym to do. But I want to try to do this with as little to no supplementation, if that is possible. Can you help me? And if the first thing that comes out of the nutritionist's mouth is, well, you know, if you want to meet these goals, you're going to have to take this, and this. And if you're not willing to take these things, then you're not really willing to hit your goals. If that's the first thing that they tell you, you might as well go ahead and just end that consultation right now, because I can guarantee you that if that's how the consultation starts, then you're going to sit there for an hour or for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or however long the consultation is, listening about all of these different supplements that you take and all of the reasons why, if you don't take these supplements, you're not going to achieve your goals. All right. So I'm going to go over that question again, or I'm going to go over that statement again. You're going to walk in, you're going to let them know, look, I want to lose weight, or I want to build muscle, but I want to try to do this with as little to no supplementation as possible. Do you think you can help me? And if the only thing they're willing to tell you about is how, if you don't get this, and this supplement, you're not going to achieve your goals, then that's not a nutrition consultation that you need to be in. You need to either request your money back, or if it was free, just go ahead and end it and walk away, because you're not going to get the information that you need. However, if that is not the approach that they take, and he says or she says, absolutely, I can help you, let's go over some of the things that you already have down on this piece of paper and let's see. Then you know you're going to get some good information. Now, understand this. There's nothing wrong with supplementation, but it has to be used wisely. You have to make wise choices about the supplementation that you use. And you don't necessarily need everything that is available. So if you choose to do supplementation, here are some staples that you may want to have, right? Not mandatory, but these are some of the staples, okay? You want to get yourself a really good protein powder. Here's the thing with the protein powders, okay? You're going to have to find the one that works for you. The one that is branded by the gym may be a great protein. It may not be great for you. So if you're going to invest in supplementation, understand that there's a lot of trial and error in this. You might spend $60 for a can of protein and it bloats you. It is what it is. Give it away to somebody else. You know, give it back to somebody who can use it. If your gym has a money back guarantee, take it back to the gym. It is what it is. Okay. So a protein powder is typically one of the staples. Branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, is another staple. And here's the thing. Here's the thing with the BCAAs. If you plan on doing weightlifting and resistance training, or if you are the type of person who is prone to a lot of stress, then your BCAAs are going to be very important, because what they do is they protect the muscle from being broken down to give you energy. They protect you from losing your muscle. What happens is, if you are the type of person who gets stressed out often, your body requires a lot of energy to deal with that stress. And the quickest place to get that energy after your stomach and after your bloodstream is going to be through your muscles. Okay, so for that reason, BCAAs may be a staple for you. A multivitamin may be a staple for you if you know that you are still working towards optimizing your nutrition. Again, remember that these are supplements. They should not be the entire foundation of your nutrition program. They are there to supplement some of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you may not be getting in your diet right now, especially if you are on a really strict grocery budget right now. Then your multivitamin is going to be super, super, super important, because no matter how much you work out or how well you eat, if you have vitamin and mineral deficiencies, if you have nutrient deficiencies, then those deficiencies are going to severely impact the speed at which you achieve your goals. All right. Here's another one. So B12 is one. Typically, when people bring up B12, they talk about B12 for the energy, right? But here's the other thing too with B12. Typically, when you start to work out, your body starts to purge a lot of the toxins that are inside you. And so you may experience rashes or bumps in certain areas. You may start to break out in your face a little bit more. Some of the equipment is dirty and dusty. I mean, it is what it is, right? People are sweaty and you're in the gym and it is what it is. And so having that additional B12 not only helps to fill in that nutrient gap, but it will also help to well, maybe not completely eliminate, but it will almost eliminate some of those skin conditions or some of those skin issues that come along with, you know, your body starting to purge out all of these toxins. Okay. And then the last staple that you might want to have as part of your arsenal is a greens supplement. Now, this is going to give you, you know, some of these green supplements are really, really good. They're packed with like, I don't know, like 30 something servings of fruits and vegetables all in the same one, but it's all about filling in those nutrient gaps. I recommend green supplements for people who have children who won't eat vegetables. Now, I don't even know how that happens, because the way I raise my kids in my house, if I put it on the table and you don't want to eat it, you can starve. But you know, everybody has a different situation, and everybody has, you know, everybody has a different experience. And so I do recommend those as a staple as well. Again, these are not mandatory, but if you are going to take some of the suggestions, then these may be the ones that you need. You don't need a whole lot of the other stuff. I mean, unless you're like a super athlete and you got competitions coming up and all this other kind of stuff, you don't necessarily need all of that other stuff, right? Get what it is that you need, get what it is that you can afford, and then move forward from that. All right. The last thing, and I'm just going through my notes here. Oh, hold on. I think I've got, let me see something. Oh, okay. Well, I can't do anything about anybody who didn't log in on time. So, all right. So here we go. So the last thing that you may want to do, or the last thing that you may want to consider, if maybe you're not comfortable doing the weight training, maybe you're not comfortable doing the resistance training by yourself, and maybe you want that camaraderie, but you don't want the responsibility of having to pay for a personal trainer. Orient yourself with the group class schedule. Find some classes that you think would be fun. Try some classes. You might see a class that you thought was going to be fun, and then you go to the class and it totally sucks. And then you might see a class that you never thought that you would be into when you get in there and it's totally fun. But get in there and orient yourself with the group fitness classes. The reason for that is, you know, if you're not comfortable using the weights or using the equipment right now, it's a really, really good way to meet people. It's a really good way to meet fitness professionals. It's a really good way to meet some really good instructors, and you get a pretty good workout out of most of those classes. Zumba burns a lot of calories. Body pump burns a lot of calories. And then there are some signature classes that that each of the gyms will have based on what the instructors want to teach. And so you can go in there and you can build a community. And the cool thing about what happens is when you get in there and you become a regular, right? If the class is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're there every Tuesday and every Thursday. Then what happens is you start to build these relationships with people, and you start to build relationships with your instructor. And so what happens is when you don't show up for class, people are looking for you. Right. And depending on the relationship that you built, you might get a text message that says, hey, I didn't see you in class today. Is everything okay? The reason why that's so cool is because it gives you that extra level of accountability, right? You know that there are other people who are kind of counting on you to be there. You know that there are other people who are expecting you to be there. And so it may make it a little less inviting for you to skip class on a regular basis because you've built those relationships. So if you are going to take part in a group fitness class, here are some things that you can do. There's a science to this, I promise. It's not just about like straight up showing up to the class and you're there and you just show up and you just participate. There are some things that you can do to enhance your experience. So here we go. One of the things that's important to understanding is that group fitness instructors feed on your energy. A lot of times the energy in the class can be directed by the energy of the participants in the class. And so if you're going to become a part of group fitness classes, you want to make sure that you get there early enough so that you can get a spot in the front. And I promise you, as much as you think people really care about what you might look like and about how you might not look correct doing that exercise, I promise you, everybody in that class is struggling with the same things. And everybody in that class is they're so concentrated on making sure that they get the moves right. They're not even concerned about what it is that you're doing. But the thing with being in the front is, number one, the group fitness instructor starts to recognize you and they start to expect you. And then what happens is you start to get a little bit more attention. So now if you're doing the exercise wrong, or if you're having some challenges with the move, then they will come up and actually help you, right? The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're giving good energy. You want to make sure that you're nodding your head, giving eye contact, make sure that you're smiling. If the group fitness instructor is like, how is everybody this morning? You're like, woo! Because we remember that. Okay, we remember that energy, and then we're able to give you that energy back as well. And so what it does is it gets you a little bit of extra attention. Right now, the other thing too is you want to make sure you get there early enough so that you can get a space in the front. Remember that most of these group fitness classes do not have assigned spaces. So if you find yourself in a position where you got there 10 minutes early and you were able to get the mat in the front, and little Miss Susie, who's always there, is happening to run late a little bit, and you happen to be in her spot and she has an attitude, tell her to go kick rocks barefoot in the Saharan desert, wearing chinchilla fur coats and a wool beanie, because she should have been there on time. What I'm saying is, don't feel obligated to give up your space because little Miss Susie Q is running late today and she's like, oh my God, I'm always there. Okay, well, you should have been on time, whatever. But on the flip side of that, if you are a regular in the class, and if you are known for giving good positive energy to the instructor, and the instructor can feed on your energy because you're there and you're so encouraged and you're having such a good time, and you're pumping yourself up and you're pumping everybody else up, what happens from time to time is that if you are running a little bit late and you missed your spot, the instructor will kind of make a space for you somewhere in the front close to where you normally are. So it's about getting some of those special privileges, but it's a give and take relationship, right? You've got to be giving the energy. You've got to be making sure that you're having a good time, which is the reason why I say try out the classes and interact with the classes that you really, really like. All right. Oh, last note. If you're going to be getting involved in the group fitness classes, please remember, okay, please remember that group fitness alone may not be all that you need to achieve your goals. Group fitness is fun. It's great. It's an awesome way to burn a whole lot of calories in a very short period of time. But it will not, for most people, it will not be the only thing that you need. So eventually you are going to have to become comfortable with some resistance training. You're going to have to become comfortable with some of the machines. You're going to have to become comfortable with some of that other equipment out there on the floor, because being a cardio bunny is not cute. I'm going to say that again. Being a cardio bunny is not cute. And then when you're walking around with the cardio booty that's sagging and it's not tight, and you know you're skinny fat and all of this other kind of stuff, then it's like, oh my God, I don't understand. I work out like 8 hours a day. Well, I mean, you know, the elliptical, you know, the treadmill, woo, you know, runner's high. Oh yeah, I know I'm weird like that. I probably shouldn't even be this crunk at 10:40 at night, and I'm only had like 3 hours of sleep today, but whatever. Don't judge me. It's my life. So I believe that's it. That is all that I have. So here's the thing. If you have any questions, about this content, meet me on Twitter. My Twitter name is A Stronger You. So A Stronger, the letter U, ASTRONGER, That is my name on Twitter. So you can @ me on Twitter, hashtag Becoming a Stronger You, and ask me whatever questions. You can ask questions tonight. You can ask questions tomorrow, or, you know, whenever you're available to do so. But you can ask whatever questions you need to ask about the content that was delivered tonight. If there was anything that I did not cover, please let me know. And of course, as always, if you enjoy the content, if you like this stuff, if you felt like you were educated tonight, or whenever you're watching this and you felt like you got some really good information, please like, share, and subscribe. I really, really appreciate that. All right, guys. So that is all that I have for you tonight. And until I talk to you again, remember, this is day 2 of 67. So I'm going to be giving a content video for free of, you know, doing some, you know, whatever information that you need for the next 67 days. So this is day 2 of 67. All right. So again, until I talk to you all again, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always, always, always work towards becoming a stronger you. Peace out.